So yeah, we probably start off with KenWorksEXE video because those are always fun, and he's a fellow anime-only watcher like me. Lord of the Mysteries just revealed Azik and left us with more questions. Dude, episode 6 will forever remain close, near, and dear to my heart. So let's see what KenWorksEXE has to say about that.
Mysteries family, welcome back to another anime-only deep dive. Every week, this show gives us more to unravel, and every week we come back here to sort through the pieces together. Being an anime-only fan of Lord of the Mysteries feels like solving a jigsaw puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape. Just when you think you figured it out, it shifts again, pulling you deeper into its world. Episode 6, Teacher, keeps that trend going, but for once it slows down. We still get plenty of new hints and plot threads, but almost the entire story locks in on one man.
But I do think that, and this might just be a preference of mine, I think opting out for slowing an episode down to take more time with it. And some people might say, oh, pacing slow, pacing slow. It's like, no. Like, I am into that slow burner type stuff. So if they have to slow it down for us to really digest it and get it, then I'm totally in for that. So it does not, absolutely does not hurt me in the slightest.
And Mr. Isaac Eggers. And this
episode 8 is adapting 10 chapters, apparently. Really? 10 chapters? That's pretty insane. That's pretty insane.
This episode had it all. Wraiths, haunted castles, sealed artifacts, gods that might have looked directly at Klein, and unsettling glimpses into just how much Isaac might be hiding. There's divination gone wrong, done proving how powerful he really is.
Dude, man, dude. Done posting up. Done posting up to the, well, pretty much Tino Eggers posting up like the that was such a cool scene. I friggin' loved it.
Possible Dark Souls nod, and even a scene that left me asking, Susanoo? This video
oh my gosh, Naruto reference.
We'll look at how episode 6 reshapes Isaac's role in the series, why it might be the most emotional chapter of the anime so far.
Dude, absolutely ripped at my heartstrings personally.
And the new questions it sparks for anime-only viewers about Isaac's true nature, the pathways, and just how deep Lord of the Mysteries.
I really hope, and I don't know how much Isaac is actually going to play a part in season 1, but I really hope that Isaac has more screen time. Don't know if we'll see it this season, but like I said, he's my new favorite character, so I really am rooting for him now.
Is willing to go. Episode 6 slows down the story and delivers its most emotional chapter so far.
And I think the studio did such a great job animating and drawing the facial expressions on Isaac's face. It almost looks like, I don't know, it's hard to describe. You know, with drawings and everything like that, it's hard to relay the same facial expressions that a real actor gives. But there's some moments where you could see the emotion that was on Isaac's face. Almost looks like he was biting his lip at some points, like whenever he was leaving the castle, and like you could, and his eyes just so filled with sorrow, and like they did a great job. I don't know, like the style that they use, or just like the way it's different from like any other anime. Like, you know, the way that they're animating this and the way that they're drawing their characters, like they are just able to express, they feel more able to express emotions. Even there was one part, and this is very random, but there's one part where Klein yawns, and it looked so like, it looked very different than any other like anime character yawn, you know, whatever. It was like, I don't know, it was very interesting, and I love the style. It's just overall great.
Entire episode is built around one simple truth. Isaac Eggers is unbearably lonely. When Klein and Dunn arrive,
I mean, he lived for 1,000 years. Like, goodness.
at the
Can't find which chapters they're adapting, but you can guess events. in the PV. Yeah.
And in Castle near Lamedtown, the tone shifts immediately. The visuals are haunting, the castle feels like it's been forgotten by time, and the wraith bound there is terrifying in the way that only Lord of the Mysteries can pull off. It's unsettlingly human, a knight in broken armor, like a memory of a person who could move on. Before Azek fully steps into the spotlight, there's a moment that changes the way Klein sees him. Klein notices a painting, an old image that looks far too much like Azek to be a coincidence. This could shake up everything, and Klein knows it. Instead of rushing to tell the Nighthawks or done, he makes a choice. He keeps it to himself. From the moment Azek appears, his presence feels foreboding, like the kind of person who carries more than he's willing to say out loud. And Klein senses it too. Their conversation is polite on the surface, but there's an edge to it. An unspoken awareness that Azek isn't showing his full hand.
And that's what threw me off at some points, because it's like, I was convinced at first that he was a total, he's a good guy. He has to be. He's Klein's teacher. But there was points where he made me second guess that opinion that I had of him, and almost made me think that, like, oh, he's gonna turn, or like, oh, he's actually not showing something that, he's actually not revealing something to Klein. And especially at that part where he was at the open, like, tomb thing, and he starts casting like a bunch of wraiths out, or maybe they're casting them in, I can't remember. And but then he was pulling Klein's like throwing blood at Klein and then pulling it back out of him, and that right there like threw me in for a loop, because I legitimately thought that there was a chance that Azek actually was like had like not good intentions. So, like, Cuttlefish did a great job, and then obviously the studio behind it did a great job of, like, keeping us on edge. So, love to see it.
Truth doesn't come from Klein dragging it out of him. Azek chooses to reveal it, like he's been holding this back for so long that speaking it out loud is both painful and necessary. He admits pieces of his past, or at least the fragments he can remember. After that conversation, Klein does what he's been relying on more and more. He uses divination. In the safety of the gray fog, he checks to see if things will remain stable, if showing Azek the castle won't spiral into danger. It's a precaution, but it also shows how...
And, like, Klein is so smart. Like, let's just give credit where credit's due. He's learning, he's becoming smarter to be able to, like, think ahead of time and do that. Like, actually, it surprised me a little bit, because I feel like if I were to, he's still figuring out his abilities and everything, and obviously we've had like a time skip, kind of. It's like a couple months, and so Klein's had time to kind of get used to his abilities, but it's like, he took precautions, and he's being mature in that sense with them.
How his confidence is shifting. He's willing to take these risks to trust his readings and his instincts. Every step forward means understanding more about this world, and maybe one day finding a way back home. Azek's memories come in shards, not a full picture, but what they show is devastating. A man who has lived and lost more than anyone should, to the point where those losses have become part of him. By the time we see those glimpses of the lives he's left behind, it's impossible not to feel the same heaviness.
And the fact that he, we don't know, just popping by to say hi and have fun with the stream. Okay, bye. Oh, see you, Luvion. Appreciate you hopping in. Thanks so much. The fact that he's gone through so much life, if that makes any sense, like, he's gone through so many lives or whatever. The very fact that he has basically ran himself into a point where he can't even remember those things anymore. In the episode, he even mentioned that he's lost track of the time. He's become so used to being alone, or he's gone through so many lives that he even lost the will to have a family, to be connected. To be connected to a family and to start a family. He's lost the will to do that. He hasn't even, like, it's been that long, and it's just repeating to the point. So it's like, dude is 1,000 years old. Like, that's many lifetimes. Many of lifetimes. At least 1,000. That's what they said. But, and, obviously Azek doesn't even know his real age. So it's just sad to see, to be honest. Azek's story is so tragic.
Klein feels standing across from him. Isaac has been shaped and worn down by the weight of his past. Episode 6 doesn't need to tell us he's lonely. You can see it in every word he hesitates to say and in every moment that hurts to surface. Isaac's portrayal reveals the true potential of Lord of the Mysteries. One of the best things about episode 6 is how it keeps expanding the world. We're seeing more artifacts with ominous numbers.
And different time periods as well, not to mention, where we saw some of the fourth epoch, I think it was.
Hearing more names and terms that,
or was it third epoch,
hint at powers and forces we don't fully understand, and somehow that only makes Lord of the Mysteries feel richer. But what really makes this episode stand out isn't just the new pieces of lore.
Fourth. Oh, okay. See, I get those two mixed up. So we have not seen anything from the third epoch. So I just need to get out of my head. If it's talking about something that's in the past, for right now, it's more than likely the fourth epoch, because I don't know why.
Or it's
I get
how
those
they
two mixed
frame
up.
the people caught in the middle of all of it, and no one embodies this better than Isaac. Isaac isn't treated like a walking lore dump. His story doesn't come to us as a neatly tied explanation of who he is and why he matters. Instead, we're given fragments of memory, emotion, and implication that makes him feel painfully real. And because it's not all laid out clearly,
The only thing we know of the third epoch is that the cataclysm happened and that the Antigonus, Ammon, and Abraham families were formed then. Yes. And I remember, I can't remember if it was old Neil's class or if it was mentioned in the anime, but they did, whenever that was mentioned, I was like, okay, I kind of recognized slightly like the cataclysm. So yeah.
Left me with more questions than answers. The
Episode 8 trailer is out. Nice. What's up, Apolkis, if that's how you say your name?
kind we'll get into thoroughly in the next section. Klein sees that pain and it stirs something in him. He hasn't lived for centuries like Isaac, but he has lived 2 lives, and that perspective matters. Instead of using his past as Cho Mingri to stay distant, Klein leans into the present. He allows himself to connect, to trust, and to care about the people around him, even when it puts him at risk. He even admits
I think Andy's covered epochs before. Okay, maybe that's where I got it from.
In one of the most vulnerable things he said so far, that he knows one day he'll be ripped away from his brother and sister in this world.
Oh my
but
gosh,
until
that
then,
killed me.
he's determined to make as many memories as he can for the Klein that they know. That line alone shows the kind of protagonist he is: empathetic, deeply human, and grounded in small acts of care, even in the middle of so much mystery. That's the real surprise of episode 6. For all its supernatural complexity, Lord of the Mysteries takes time to remind us it can be human too. Isaac's pain makes the world feel heavier, but moments like Klein's empathy and even the small slice of life scenes sprinkled
in the mid-rolls of episode 6, it mentioned the epochs and their names. Also, the third epoch was the Cataclysm epoch. Yep. So I'm pretty sure, Lexi, I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm pretty sure that was the that's where they, because I paused it. I might have cut it out of the video. I can't entirely remember. Maybe I kept it in, but yeah, the mid-roll ads, or the mid-roll, I call them eye catchers, because I'm pretty sure that's the technical term for the anime when it comes to anime. But yeah, pretty sure it was in the eye catchers where we saw all the epochs laid out.
Through the series are what keep it grounded. Those glimpses of warmth make the mystery feel even more meaningful. They remind us there's something real at stake beneath all the fog.
Which epoch is Roselle from again? Current? Pretty sure current. Pretty sure from, yeah, 5th. Yeah. He's from far away, but not that far away. Not Isaac far away.
Hey there, looks like you've been caught in Jotaro's stand. Start comment. Before we dive into all the new theories,
I will like at the end of the video.
Episode 6 dropped into my lap. I need to start with a few corrections and updates from my
speculations, pathways, and questions. Episode 6 left with me.
Last video. In episode 5, I was convinced Leonard might be tied to some hidden pathway that hadn't been revealed yet. Turns out it wasn't a hidden pathway at all. It was just a production error. Leonard is firmly in the sleepless pathway, and that theory is officially retired. While we're on the subject of missed details, I also completely forgot to mention something that hit me last week. That woman opera singer in the previous episode.
Just checked, and News talked about epochs at 1658 in his second Lord of the Mysteries cut content video. Okay, awesome. So basically, it's been ingrained. It's kind of been repeated to me multiple times to the point now where it's starting to stick. So it's good to know.
It actually immediately reminded me of Fuchi, the unsettling model from Junji Ito's work. For my fellow horror manga fans, let me know if you caught that vibe too. I'll be looking for that in the comments. Now with that
Definitely
out of the
freaky.
way, episode 6 opened the door to a whole new wave of questions. One of the things I really appreciate about this episode is that it didn't just slow down the pace to focus on Azek, it also slipped in even more world building, more sealed artifacts, more hints about the different pathways, and a sense that the rules of this world are only going to get stranger from here. But
I still can't believe Klein friggin' did that, dude, in episode 6. I like, seriously, episode 6 was like, I mean, episode 7 was great too, and oh my gosh, like, you know, if y'all haven't seen my episode 7 reaction yet, don't forget to go watch that after the stream. But episode 6 was just on a different level, man. It's like Klein pulled so much crap and somehow got out of it alive. By the way, I've read the novel, but it has been years already. So I'm enjoying the donghua, as there are events and scenes I have forgotten already. Yeah, that's awesome. See, a lot of other like novel readers have expressed to me the same things, which is basically like the donghua is like bringing back to life the story for me, which is great. Like, I honestly love that. But as an anime only, it's just a whole different experience because I actually don't know the story yet. So I'm, experiencing it for the first time through the donghua. Bro got sunburned a little. No, just a little. Just a little. He stared at the sun and just got a little sunburnt. He got toasted.
here's the thing, every answer seems to come with 3 more questions. Seeing Azek speak openly about pieces of his past left me wondering what he is in a way that none of the other characters have. Is he a cursed immortal, a member of the Hidden Leaf Village?
Is it just because of the Susanoo? Oh my gosh. See, on a real note, the big skull thing, honestly, it might be like a Susanoo in a sense. For those of you who don't know Naruto, Susanoo is basically just a physical being that covers and protects the member that it's casting. Or like a stand. I mean, I said that as well, didn't I, in my episode reaction? And so it's like, I think it's going to be more of like a mecha, but you're controlling it from the outside. If that makes any sense. He's just there to protect, but I don't know how Azek got that. He's a corpse collector, correct? Corpse collector pathway. So he must have fought it and got it. Like, he must have conquered it and then is able to summon it at will, maybe once he gained immortality. That's my theory, maybe.
Stand user, whatever the case, one thing's for sure, Azek is not a regular Beyonder. And then there's Klein. One of the most striking moments in this episode is when he uses divination to figure out what's been interfering with the sealed artifact they've been using. He pushes himself into the gray fog and goes too far, catching a glimpse of something he shouldn't, what I can only assume is a deity connected to the Church of the Eternal Blazing Sun.
Yep.
That single moment nearly kills him. He's only saved because the gray fog intervenes, pulling him back from whatever he touched.
Cheat code, dude.
Instead of punishing him
straight
for
up
the
a cheat code,
overreach, the fog seems to reward him with a sequence 4 recipe. This raises another big question. Is this a recipe?
And then he's like, and I do it again. He's like, and I'll do it again. I'll do it again. No questions asked. He's like, yo, I just found a way to farm sequence potions. Let's go. Also, so that's Unshadowed. Sequence 4 Unshadowed. Is that going to come up again? Is he actually going to because I imagine, okay, this is probably not an unpopular opinion, Klein is probably going to get to sequence 4 eventually. I don't know how far, I don't know what, but eventually he's got to climb up the ranks. It just makes sense. He's the main character. It just makes sense. Yeah, but anyways, I wonder if he's actually going to come back around and use that potion recipe. What's up with Crunchyroll messing up translations? It's a paid subscription. In the novel, it's also mentioned if he didn't catch the Eternal Blazing Sun by surprise, he probably would have died even if the Gray Fog was helping him. If he didn't catch the Blazing Sun by surprise. So he didn't. So the Blazing Sun didn't really even. He was there. It was like, wait, what? That's for Sun pathway. Oh, it's for Sun. It's for the Sun pathway. Okay, I gotcha. Anyways, to answer your question, Paul Kiss, I don't know what is happening, to be honest. I like, quite frankly, I don't know. I've heard about the situation happening, but I have yet to actually look into it. I think Kaka might have been talking about it, and some other people, but I have not myself looked into it. So at some point, maybe I'll watch Kaka's video or I'll like do some more looking into it. But I don't know exactly what's been going on with that. So it's a little concerning, just from what I've heard, like service level stuff. But we'll see. I mean, nothing can be perfect apparently, so nothing can ever work out 100%, which is just sad, but it is what it is.
Recipe for the sun pathway he just brushed up against, or is it another piece of the seer pathway Klein's already on?
Klein
Having
courting
the
death,
sequence
yeah.
recipe, if it's for the sun pathway, doesn't seem like a coincidence. Will Klein accidentally summon someone on the sun pathway during a tarot club meeting like he did with Justice and Augur? My theory.
I mean, you'll see the usage of that knowledge soon. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I'm assuming that everything that he is seeing now will come back eventually. So, yeah.
Driven brain is pointing towards he will meet someone on the sun pathway eventually, if not an ally, and give this sequence recipe to them. The more we see of this fog, it's hard to believe it's just a neutral tool. It's starting to feel sentient, like it's guiding Klein, protecting him, and nudging him towards something bigger.
Yeah, but I was told that it wasn't sentient. It's not sentient, kind of. It kind of only has sentience whenever it's like an immediate danger situation or Klein is like in a life or death situation. But it's always acting as like protection. It's like an active protection, but it won't kick into like high gear unless what we saw in episode 6, something similar to that happens.
It reminds me of the system interface in Solo Leveling, but more cryptic, less controlled, and possibly with its own motives. We also saw more signs of the Evernight Goddess in this episode. Between her, the Blazing Sun, and the whispers of other churches, the pantheon of Lord of the Mysteries feels larger and far more dangerous. Every divination Klein performs feels
like a defense mechanism. Exactly. Like it's only going to trigger, but I feel like it's also an act if the plot requires it. Yeah. But I feel like it's also, in another sense, it's also like an active protection because he's able to do things that would otherwise put him in danger, but he's able to do them in, while he's in the Great Fog. And it also acts as like an amplifier as well, so he's able to get more access when he's using the Great Fog or when he's above the Great Fog. So, yeah.
Like it's one step away from drawing direct attention from one of these entities, and I don't think even the fog could fully protect him if that happened. But Azek is where the biggest questions sit. Episode 6 makes it impossible to ignore the idea we're seeing an unknown
corpse collector pathway sequence unknown. Dude, he's 1,000 years old. Like, I mean, what sequence could he be? He's 1,000 years old.
Sequence of the corpse.
Definitely at least sequence 6, probably. What's your guess on his sequence? Probably what I just said, which is sequence 6. At least sequence 6. He could, I mean, immortality. What kind of like, I mean, immortality, like that's stupid powerful, obviously. So, maybe sequence 5. But he, like, I mean, we haven't seen him go all out yet. I feel like if he was sequence 5, I feel like Klein could not even be anywhere near him, like when he's pulling the stuff that he was pulling during episode 6. So I feel like maybe my soft guess, if that makes sense, is probably a sequence 6, if I were to take a guess.
Collector pathway in action.
But then again, because I mean, we've seen the jump from sequence 8 to sequence 7. That's a high jump. So I feel like, but would the jump be so far as to give him immortality from sequence 7 to sequence 6? So maybe he is sequence 5. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out.
Seems like someone who's already climbed to one of its highest points. Based on what he shows us, he's easily sequence 5, maybe even sequence 4. And it got me thinking, could this be a part of what advancement in the...
Yo, what's up, Doro, the lazy one? I love that guy's video. Yeah, we're checking out KenWorksEXE video. He's great. Love watching his stuff.
corpse collector pathway actually looks like. Maybe part of the digestion stage of each sequence in this pathway makes it so that you have to die to move forward. You shed who you were, you slumber, you forget, and you wake up someone slightly different. Almost like Prissy and the assassin pathway seems to demand you lose or alter parts of yourself along the way. This is pure speculation, but my anime-only brain can't shake that idea. Maybe for the corpse collector pathway, every step forward means being reborn into another stage of yourself.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then he's a way higher sequence than what we're thinking he is. But at that, I mean, like, it's hard to say, for at least for me. But all I know is Azek might be, I mean, he's probably most likely the most powerful character that we've seen so far. But who knows? He's definitely at least, I'm sticking with my answer, he's definitely at least a sequence 6. Maybe a sequence 5. But we'll see.
And with every rebirth, you live long enough to outlast the people you know to collect the corpses of everyone you've
But then
loved. Trust me, I know it's a Hail Mary of a theory, but the pieces fit in a way that's unsettling.
Wait a second, because wait a second. KenWorks might be onto something. He might be onto something, because
Trust me, I know it's a Hail Mary. The corpses of everyone you've loved. Trust me.
Because he was searching for where his... But did he just pull that out of thin air? I mean, like, come on.
No.
Hold on, because, like, oh, gosh, because how did... he was just able... I mean, quite frankly, he was able to... He somehow knew what to do. Like, he was searching for his...
To collect...
I'm sorry. He was searching for his... Is EBS a Beyonder, though? I think the Eternal Blazing is stronger than Azek. Okay, well... EBS is not a character, I don't think, and it's not like when I'm talking about characters, I'm talking about like actual like main characters. If that makes any sense. It's not a Beyonder, even if he's not, he's stronger. Oh yes, probably yes. I think Klein stared at Azek many a times, and did not and didn't start erupting in flames. Looks like you summoned me. What's up, KenWorks? Bro, why is it I watch like a content creator's stream, or not stream, I watched one of their videos and they pop up in chat somehow. What's up, KenWorks? Dude, pleasure having you in the stream. That's awesome. Pleasure having you in the chat, man. I've been watching your videos almost every stream, actually, because I usually stream once a week, and so when you post a video, usually lands on there, so I watch them. They're great. I'll love your theories, especially the fact that I'm an anime only as well. So like I can relate for sure to a lot of what you theorize and what you say. That's great, because a lot of people, they're novel readers, or like they know stuff about the novel, but I don't know none of that. So every episode, it's a new experience for me, and my brain just starts cooking all the theories and all that speculating stuff. So yeah. Appreciate you hopping in the stream, but that's awesome. So sick. All right, so yeah.
The corpses of everyone you've loved. Trust me, I know it's a Hail Mary.
And that's, honestly, you might be cooking with that theory. You might. Because he went, so what I was saying earlier is that like he instinctively went to that door and opened it up and then was searching for the skulls. He was searching for his child, his son, Tino. So why? I mean, he went there to search for the skull. So that might be might be the skulls of all his loved ones. It might be. So actually, I know you said it's a Hail Mary, but I think you might be closer than you think on that one.
Of a theory, but the pieces fit in a way that's unsettlingly poetic. Azek's stronger than anyone we've seen, and that strength comes from time. Azek's flashbacks make it clear he's lived through centuries, maybe millennia, and somehow he's still here. That kind of existence comes with a price, and this episode made sure we felt every bit of that cost. All of this leaves me with more theories than ever, but also more uncertainty. The fog feels like more than just a backdrop, it's actively shaping Klein's path. The deities aren't...
I know I cooked, LOL. The foreshadowing is too strong. I'm almost 90% sure this is how the Corpse Collector works. I haven't really thought about it too much about how the Corpse Collector works. but because we've only seen what Dolly is Corpse Collector, right? And then or is that, yeah, pretty sure Dolly, and then who else is it? Fry as well. That's Corpse Collector. So it's very interesting how, like, I did not even guess, like, personally I didn't even guess that Azig would be a Corpse Collector, or would be on the Corpse Collector pathway. Dolly and Fry so far, exactly. So their abilities, at least what we've seen so far, is so different than what Azig presented, which again makes me think that he is he's got to be at least a sequence 6 or a sequence 5. So I have no clue, but it's because, every time you go up a sequence, you will gain a lot more abilities and you'll become a lot stronger. So the fact that he had commanded an entire army and he's immortal essentially, from what we've seen. So it's insane, dude. Azig is definitely my favorite character so far in the series. And I said that in my episode reaction. It was quite I originally liked Leonard and Dunn, which I still like them. Okay, don't get me wrong, I still like them, but Azig takes the cake. Just the emotional connection and it's just it got me.
Just distant names in the lore, their forces pressing in closer with every episode, and Azig for all the mentor.
If Bros is sequence 5 or 6, the power scaling is going to go crazy. I mean, yes. Like I mean, we've heard a little about what sequence 2s can be like, and so I mean, getting immortality at like sequence 5 or sequence 6. I mean, you're gonna go up from there. That's gonna be crazy. So maybe he's closer to a sequence 5 than a sequence 6, but I'm just gonna take the safe bet.
Like moments he's had now feels like something else entirely. I can't stress it enough, this episode really opened a massive can of theory worms. The artifacts are clearly going to play a huge part in the future. I can't shake the feeling that we'll see specialty classes of Beyonders, outliers to the established pathways, almost like unique sequences that break the rules. It's not hard to imagine how wild it could get. Maybe there will...
I just think, yeah, and I agree with this, because I think the whole vibe of this episode was really different than like previous episodes. We got to see a whole nother world, like a whole nother part, a whole nother section of Lord of the Mysteries that we haven't seen so far. We got history. We got a whole different character with that is a lot more powerful. So like we got a whole lot of information, like on top of the Eternal Blazing Sun and all that, figuring out that you can get stuff if you survive things, apparently. It's just, yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
Even be Beyonders with Death Note style abilities, able to write down a name and suppress someone's powers or weaken them for a short time. We've already seen in Uchiha Clan Susanoo, why not some Death Note? I've got dozens more theories spiraling in my head, but if I went through all of them, this video might be twice as long. And honestly, there was so much lore to absorb here that I'm going to have to push back my full theory on done until next episode. There's just too much happening in episode 6 to process it all at once. Episode 6 of Lord of the Mysteries reshaped how we see this world. From Azig's tragic revelations to Klein's reckless dive into divination, this...
Klein just like... I'll do it again, and I'll do it again. It's typed up. Just need to record and edit. Nice, dude. Ooh, can't wait. It's going to be great. I'll be reacting to it on stream next Sunday. So if you want to drop by again, greatly appreciate it. That'd be awesome.
Episode felt like the point where the story stopped teasing what it could be and it just delivered. Azig's story was told through fragments, through things he couldn't even fully remember. It made it all the more devastating. He's easily one of the most complex side characters we've seen so far. Someone who's...
Oh, easily. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Klein's a close second, I would say, but like easily sweeps other characters in terms of like depth. Cause I just met the guy. Like barely met him at the end of like episode 3, I think it was. But in that entire episode, it was pretty much just like meeting him for the first time, and like we got so like connected to him. So I mean, what kind of other, what else do you need to know in terms of like how deep the character is than that. I pretty much watched each episode twice and started checking out the dub, and there are still things I'm missing. It's actually insane. LOL. I still need to watch the dub. I'm gonna wait to watch the dub until the entire season comes out, and then I'm gonna rewatch the entire season again in dub. And because I'm actually really excited for the dub, and I feel like I'll be able to pay attention a little bit more as long as the dub, remains accurate, doesn't like skip out on things, skip out on information. It'll be nice to actually be able to like focus more on the screen rather than like trying to like split up my eyes, reading subtitles and watching at the same time. So that's what I'm planning on doing with the dub.
Presence raises more questions than answers.
Azek is deaf, or is definitely one of the best written characters in Lord of the Mysteries. That's awesome.
Klein, meanwhile, continues to impress me as a protagonist, the way he's willing to risk himself with divination, the way he chooses empathy over caution, and the way he's thinking about the people around him, even knowing he might one day lose them, grounds all the supernatural madness. This episode also packed in more lore than most series manage in entire arcs.
Dude, and then episode 7 just built on all that. Not to mention like Klein developing as a character, realizing, that divination won't solve all your problems. Basically, like not to rely. And I was actually thinking of this as I was editing the episode 7 video, but I think he doing that, like not relying on divination, in turn made him it was almost a reward fully digesting it, in the sense that like he was whoever's like the connecting all the strings, whoever's like making everything line up, it's almost letting go of like trying to know that for certain the future. It's almost like putting trust into the process, not always jumping to divination, trying to like figure out the future, not always jumping. It's like, oh, I need to know. It's almost like trusting that, okay, sometimes you can't know, sometimes you shouldn't know every single thing. And so that's probably what helped him internalize and actually fully become a fully realized avatar, not avatar, fully realized Beyonder, or fully realized Sequence 9 seer, more accurately. But Volume 1 often regarded as the worst volume alongside Volume 2. What? Someone said it perfectly. Klein is as confused as we are. Even he doesn't know what's happening most of the time. And that's also, I enjoy that as well, because like it's very fun feeling like it makes you feel like you're more immersed. Which is crazy. I had to agree even with how much I love Volume 1. So basically what you're saying, Luxy, is that every single volume, every single season is going to get better from here. Even though this is already peak. Like, I'm going to struggle like with like containing all my excitement if it gets better than this. I thought the worst was last volume of COI. I looked at Volume 1 as establishing the lore and things. It's a slow burn, but it's okay.
Artifacts, deities, pathways, the gray fog acting less like a tool and more like an ally. It's a lot to take in, but it's what makes Lord of the Mysteries so fascinating. And honestly, I'm not going to be satisfied with just 12 episodes of this.
Same, bro. Literally. Like, I so wish this was a 24 episode season. Like, if they actually released like 24 episode seasons. But apparently we're getting OVAs. Maybe a movie. I don't know. I might be not remembering things. But will you be satisfied with 13 plus 2 specials? That's what I was confusing it with. Yeah, 2 specials. To be fair, they are 30 minutes, so it's closer to 20. Yeah. So I mean, that's good. At least we got like. And I honestly, when episode 7 came out, I was like, it's 33 minutes. I was kind of bummed out that we're missing 3 extra minutes of content that we didn't get from the previous episodes. But I think depending on how the rest of the season goes, I think if they hit all the marks and they don't skip out on anything, they nail it, which apparently they are going to nail it because we've heard that it gets better from here. I think 13 episodes plus 2 specials will be just fine. So I think we're still going to feast.
story is too big, too layered. I wish this was a full 24 episode season so we could see even more.
Yeah, literally what I said.
I also have to say the theories, the deep dives, the memes, it's been incredible to experience this anime alongside all of you.
Yeah.
If there are other web novels with this same kind of depth and mystery, drop them in the comments. I'll take all the recommendations I can get. I walked away from episode 6 with a dozen new theories, a few retired ones, and a head full of questions I can't stop turning over, and that's exactly what I love about this show. It's messy, mysterious, and somehow still emotional enough to stick with you. If this is what Lord of the Mysteries looks like when it slows down, I can't wait to see what happens when it picks up again. Catch you in the next one.
Nice. W KenWorks. W KenWorks in the chat. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. Yeah, so many good points, and it's very interesting. And like I said, I love it that there's somebody else that's another content creator out there that is an anime only, and so because that's literally all we can do is just theorize. We don't know what's gonna happen, so like it's so exciting to jump into something this good and not know what's happening, and there's so much depth and so much story. It's almost like the sky's the limit to what you can imagine is going to be, like what's going to come out of this. So it's so awesome to see. So cool. W KenWorks, great video like always.